Welcome back everyone to American Truck Simulator. In our last video we got a lot accomplished with regards to expanding our truck operation. We expanded our HQ, we picked up another couple of trucks and drivers. Let's actually come in and look at the driver manager really quickly. So we had looked at this a little bit at the end of our previous video, but right now you can see average profit per day is only $713, but I expect that to grow exponentially as time goes on. We are training Scarlett on long distance. As you can see, she has zero skill in that area right now. But the good thing that I did see when I really quickly looked at Christian is he's already gotten the first skill level in that particular area. So that's going to be good. Right now, again, he's not making us very much of any money, but that will continue to increase as his rating gets better and he gets more experience and more skills. So all of that is going to be a little slow to get started, but that's certainly no issue for us to worry about. All right, so what we're going to do here at the very beginning is, rather than go straight to the market, looks like we need to turn our lights on. Let's go ahead and do that first. I'm actually going to start out by turning around. And we're going to take a look and see what job offers are available here where we just dropped off our most recent cargo. So we're going to start off by seeing what these guys have available. And I would prefer to go ahead and pick a job from them. Otherwise, there are other places that we can look. All right, let's see what they've got going on. Okay, very nice. I like this one, 24,000 basically for that, or a very small load. And you can see this one is not going to pay very well. 14.46 per mile. We don't want that one. Let's see what we're getting from Bakersfield to Holbrook. Wow, that is going to be a drive. But if you notice, it does look like it is going to be a very easy drive. And one of the things that I really like is that it's going to take us into a different area that I don't think we've been to. We've been into Arizona, but I don't think we've been into Holbrook. So let's go ahead and see if we can earn some of this money. It's going to be a long trip, but that's okay. So now we need to, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and back up here. Let's see, where are we going? It is in, the back area. Okay, you can barely see it back there. All right, so let's go ahead. Put this thing in reverse. And I'm going to try to get turned around. All right, there we go. And then, if we look over here to the side, I believe it wants us to back up right over there. Okay, let's square up our view. There's the load we just dropped off. All right, so we're going to be taking a tractor over there. Well, that is a very nice tie-in to what we're going to be doing in Farming Sim, hopefully in the very near future. All right, let's see if we can get everything lined up pretty good. And this time, I'm going to have to spin this camera around. Okay, nope, I did not. Okay. Put it in reverse. Always weird having to drive this thing in reverse using the camera like this, because everything is not going to work the way your brain is normally used to it working. There we go. We made it. All right. Make sure our lights are on and where we want them. It looks like there's only one way out that I can see. So we're going to have to come back around this way. I love seeing those tractors there. Again, as I've mentioned previously, that is one of the big things that excites me about the upcoming DLC is the tie-in to a lot of the things we've done and hopefully we'll be able to do in the future in Farming Sim. once again, we're going to take a chance there and try to get out. And we're going to drive by the employment agency. All right, so we got the Peterbilt dealership right over there. I'm actually going to, I'd originally told you guys at the end of the last video that I was going to try to do that off camera. But right now, I think I'm actually going to swing over by there so that we can head in, and hopefully there will be a great place for us to swing around and get going the direction we need to, because we actually need to be going right here. But we're so close to unlocking this that I really want to get it unlocked. So hopefully the game has pity on my driving skill and will give us some room to get turned around. So we're going to go ahead, and there it is. So you can see we didn't actually have to make it in here to make it happen, but we have unlocked the Peterbilt dealership. So now we'll be able to take a look at some offers they have and some different trucks. So let's see what we've got here. So nice to look in the rearview mirror and see that tractor back there. Loving that. All right, there we go. So I think we're going to manage this without too much issue. But I really did want to do at least some of those unlocks on camera, if at all possible. Just so you guys who might not be familiar with the game, haven't spent a lot of time in the game, can see exactly how that works out. Very simple process. And I'm happy we were able to get that done. So now it looks like nobody's going here at the red light. We're stopped and everybody else is stopped too. There they go. So there we got a passenger bus, which ties in nicely to Bus Simulator, actually. More big rigs, of course, coming through. There's some similar models to what we've been looking at. All right, hopefully this traffic will thin out so we can actually get through here, because it would be nice if we could actually turn. All right, we're going to go ahead and go. This is probably going to cause issues here, but I don't feel like waiting here until the traffic AI decides to allow us onto the road. So we're going to go ahead and press the issue a little bit. All right, interested to see what the speed limit is as we get outside of town, outside of Bakersfield. Get the turn signal on so we can head over into the right-hand side lane. Now we're going to head back by all of these oil fields that we saw on the way in. And it looks like 55 is going to be our speed limit for a while, just as it was coming in. So no real surprise there. Wow, this wheel is going nuts right now. Hopefully you guys can't hear that at the same level that I can, because that is very distracting. All right, let's set our cruise on 55 and see what we got. So we got a very long journey, 605 miles on this particular trip, but it's going to be a very nice payday for us. And of course, every moment that passes in the game, we have not only ourselves making money in the trips that we're taking, but we also have our 2 additional drivers that are out making money for us. Not a whole lot of money right now, mind you, but they are still out there working hard nonetheless. It would be nice if they could make enough. Yeah, this is really getting on my nerves with the wheel force feedback, because it's not actually simulating anything right now. It's sort of, it almost seems like it's a lack of any information that the system has, so it's just sort of generating this wild pattern, because we're not going through a bumpy section of road or anything like that. So it looks like I've still got some more adjusting that I might need to do. So just like we talked about last time, the seat position is higher than I would prefer it to be, but for right now I've decided to leave it alone because it's really not that big of a deal for me. At some point I will go in and actually reduce it. A couple of ways of doing that, but I prefer just to go to the cabin adjustments in sort of the main screen for our company, and that works just fine for me. But yeah, with this configuration of truck, we have plenty of visibility, unless we're talking about looking left or right, and I'm not a big fan of that. Wow, come on, wheel, be better. Wheel, game, whatever it is that's causing this, I could do without it. Yeah, every time it's like the force feedback drops off completely, and then it's replaced by sudden jerks in different directions for no apparent reason. Alright, so right now we're going straight, and hopefully we can continue that without me having to take a pause and adjust this force feedback. Because we certainly didn't have this problem in our last video coming into Bakersfield. So for now, I'm just going to assume that this is the load that we're carrying that is causing this, and try to work through it. I'm also really excited to see if we can reach a point where we're on a road that allows for a higher speed limit. Alright, very calm. Nighttime driving. It's where you have to take your no-doze to make sure you don't doze off at the wheel. Nice motorbike on the side of the road there. Well, this is certainly not what we were looking for. Down to a 2-lane. And we are certainly not going to speed limit right now. And we really don't have a way to pass because it looks like we're pretty stacked up. And we're just getting into the nighttime. You can see in the bottom right hand corner on the GPS window, we are approaching 10 p.m. But yeah, we're doing about 40 miles per hour with a speed limit of 55, which is, granted, it's understandable given that it is nighttime and the road that we're on, but it certainly doesn't help our cause any when we're trying to make a delivery fairly quickly. That's got to be a fairly uncomfortable position for this SUV right in front of us, because they've been going through here with a big rig in front of them and behind them, so some tense moments, I'm sure, for them. Alright, speed limit 55 once again, and we're back to a 4-lane. Alright, at some point we're going to have to get down to LA. We haven't been anywhere close to LA as far as I remember at this point, but I am admittedly, I almost took a wrong turn there. And if there had been a lot of traffic, I would have taken a wrong turn because I wouldn't have been able to get over. But yeah, as time goes on, it'll be very easy to lose track of where we've been, where we haven't been, unless there are obvious signs of things that we've unlocked in those locations, because we'll be going to a lot of different places multiple times, and so it'll be very easy to lose track. Alright, hopefully no traffic. Nope, none to speak of at all. Alright, speed limit still 55. Alright, we're at Barstow now. And just taking a glimpse at the city and seeing if there was anything to unlock there. Not that I was going to actually leave the interstate to unlock it, but just trying to keep an eye out and get used to looking for those things. You can see Interstate 15 headed toward Vegas. Just some random force feedback in the wheel. Amazing. Alright, we are now leaving Barstow, and let's see, it looks like we're taking the next right. And so we're gonna swap roads here very shortly. There we go. Once again, hoping as we connect on that we don't have any traffic to deal with, because coming to a complete stop in a big rig is no fun when you have to turn around and get going again. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to try to keep an eye out for the speed limit. Hopefully that will change from 55 at some point during our journey. Alright, we'll set the speed, the cruising speed at 55, 56 miles an hour, and hopefully we'll at minimum be able to keep that up without having to make any adjustments. And this force feedback is driving me nuts right now. Wow, that is unbelievable. Just at random directions. I mean, it's just going back and forth for no good reason. And other than that, it's completely limp. So, yeah, that's not helping my immersion any at all right now. I can only assume that it's trying to represent sort of, you know, bumps and terrain along the road instead of just being completely flat. But at this point, I would settle for completely flat. So we're probably going to have to do some adjustments here momentarily if this continues. A little surprised we're making this kind of headway on the other trucks that are on the road, because again, I mean, we're basically doing right at the speed limit, and yet we're catching them a lot quicker than the 1 mile per hour that we're running over the speed limit right now. So maybe they're on the verge of dozing off as we get into the middle of the night. Alright, very nice truck that we're passing there on the right. Looked like it was a bright red one. I just like that design. Look how close. Wow. Okay, that pylon was way too close. I want nothing to do with that. Alright, let's go ahead and head back over into the right-hand lane for a little while. Ooh, we can bypass the next way station. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That'll save us a little time. Alright, now we're catching another truck. We're going to go ahead and hop over it right in front of this car that is quickly approaching. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. But this game is so great for just, it's so much fun. You wouldn't think about it being very much fun at all whenever you first hear about it. I mean, you're driving a truck over, highways and interstates. What could be fun about that? And then you get into the game and it is so relaxing, and that's a great deal of fun. So if you're playing a lot of other stressful games, or if you just have a stressful life in general, then games like this and Farming Simulator, Bus Simulator, all of those types of games can be so much fun just to give you a nice relaxing experience. And that's what we do here on this channel overall. We just have a lot of fun with games because life is, in general, plenty stressful on its own. No need to add to the stress by worrying too much about games. Games are supposed to be fun, and that's the way I approach it. Alright, are we going to be able to... Yeah, let's get back over in that left-hand lane. Would just really appreciate if we could get a better speed limit for us here. I mean, we're rolling right along. We're doing what we need to do. I'm also going to have to remind myself to keep an eye out for our fuel, because now that we're in our own equipment, obviously we're going to have to stop at the different stations, the fueling stations, and refueling. Whereas before, the quick jobs, when we were using somebody else's equipment, we didn't have to worry about that because it would give us enough fuel to get where we wanted to go. Sometimes just barely, but we got there nonetheless. So right now it looks like we're getting 6.9 miles per gallon, which is actually a little higher than I thought, but we do have the lowest horsepower and torque engine that we're going to see as we move forward into the future. We're certainly going to get some more powerful engines so we can carry some heavier loads. I have to say, this using the automatic transmission so far, as much as I'm having to remind myself not to use the paddle shifters on the wheel, I do think it's working out because, all of that clicking, the clicking sound that comes with the Logitech G920 whenever you use the paddle shifters, it can get annoying after a while. Now, normally playing racing titles, you don't swap gears all that much. Even if you're road racing and use a car that's got, somewhere around 6 gears, it's still not that big of a deal. But in the big rig, it certainly is a big deal because we're going through a lot of gears and we do it pretty often. Particularly whenever you're doing some city driving. You're going those slower speeds, stopping at the junctions and the red lights and so on. All right, so far so good. We've been pretty lucky on the traffic being fairly thin overnight like this. That's always nice. And we've been able to maintain a pretty good pace here and not had to slow down very much for a lot of traffic. Looks like they've got some bushes right there in the median that they need to do a little work with and trim them down a little. All right, oh boy, we're certainly getting. All right, so now I'm getting a lot of force feedback for the type of road we're on. So that's not terribly surprising. It's still a little bit aggravating that it's working the way it is, but at least this time I can understand where it's coming from. All right, so now we are up to 75. So let's go ahead and speed up some. Thank you very much for that that empty trailer or empty tractor trailer that just went by to show me that yes, it is time to speed up. We can do that now. So by all means, we want to do that. About 320 miles remaining in our journey. And again, we're taking our no-dos so that we don't fall asleep at the wheel. All right, now we're back to the annoying force feedback. Yeah, this is definitely going to have to go. Just trying to survive this one trip here and hoping that we can do just that. All right, so we've been going through some hilly areas, so it's kind of hard to get our speed up right now to get closer to that 75. All right, there we go. Now we've got a little bit of flat area. It looks like we're going to start going downhill a little bit. So that will certainly help our cause. All right, so it's changed to 65, but that's certainly better than 55. We'll take it, and we'll lock in right there at 65. All right, so our fuel isn't looking all that great. So at some point, we're going to have to certainly stop for fuel, but I think we got a little ways we can go. Probably one of the next times we come across one of the fueling stations that will enable us to just pull off sort of the side of the interstate without having to exit and drive around town very much. We'll probably just hop into one of those. And so yeah, we're running out of fuel, and it's letting us know now, just in case I hadn't seen that. So we'll be on the lookout for one of those, and hopefully we don't have to call a tow truck. Come on, game. Work with me here. That is... Alright, so I think we're going to make some adjustments to this whenever we stop for fuel. And hopefully that'll be before too terribly long. But again, I'm hoping we can get lucky with just one of the fueling stations right off to the side. But given where we are on the interstate, that might not be possible. So I guess what I should really be focused on is hoping we just don't run out of fuel on the interstate here and have to call for that tow. Because as luck would have it, we are not coming across any fueling stations after we've been by several beforehand. So it makes sense. That's exactly what you would expect. You can't find one when you need one, but when you don't need it, they're everywhere. So we are about to spend some serious money on fuel. Alright, this... Alright, come on truck. Make it up the hill. Losing speed. And of course there is no fuel in sight. I just keep my eye out in the bottom right hand corner on the GPS, just looking for some fuel to appear, and so far nothing. So who knows, we might be calling a tow truck here for too long. Alright, there's one destination up on the left if we exit, but that is not a fuel station. So we're down to 232 miles remaining in our trip, so we've certainly covered a lot of distance. But we have more pressing issues to deal with right now. as that fuel gauge continues to taunt us and get closer and closer to absolute empty. So now we have our first stress in the game. We were just talking about how this game is pretty stress-free, very relaxing and so on, and just a lot of relaxing fun. And now we're about to run out of fuel, and we're desperately hoping for a fuel station very quickly. And this, wow, it's like, I don't even know what to think about this force feedback right now. It's no rhyme or reason. Okay, there we go. I see a fuel station. The question is, how do we get to it? Ah, there we go. So if we can hang on just a bit longer, we're going to take the next right, and we're going to head over to that fuel station. There we go. So we're almost there. Just hang in there with the fuel. And let's see. Looking left or right is almost useless, so we'll go ahead and do what we can. Go. Looks like we're going to make it. Let's see. Let's make our turn. Alright, here we go. Looks like it shouldn't be too terribly bad. It's giving us a little bit of room to maneuver in here. Not a whole lot, but should be enough for what we need. Alright, there we go. Let's first turn off the engine, and we're going to hold down. Looks like our diesel price is $3.10. And so now the question becomes, how much money do we spend here at the fuel station? Alright, tank is full, $458. But before we get back going again, we are going to take a look at, let's see, is it under gameplay? I forget where it's at now. Been a few minutes since I've actually looked at it. As I scroll through here, you can see some of the settings I am currently using in the game. Let's see, there's the real automatic transmission that I'm using right now. Camera, regional, nope, apparently not. So we'll go to controls here. There we go, force feedback. I'm just going to turn this thing way down right now. Force feedback for the engine. The terrain is already way down. Now, if this doesn't work, then what we are going to do is probably just turn it off for a while and see if that will at least fix our problem. So everything is way down, but all I really want to get rid of, the force feedback I like. I just need to get rid of some of that randomness that I'm getting around the center line. Okay, now the next question is, how do we get out of here? Can I go around this side? Yes, I can. Okay, let's try to make sure we're clear. All right, so we got a rest area here that we could also use. We're not worried about that. We're not worried about the fatigue simulation in the game. It's a very nice addition, but it really doesn't meet what we're trying to do here in this series. All right, so we're back on the road with a full tank of fuel. And we've got about 200 miles remaining. So not terribly bad. So we've had to go a little bit farther off the interstate than I would have preferred, but given some of the roads we've been traveling, I've been spoiled a little bit with how close some of the fuel stops were off the side of the road. All right, here we go. So hopefully we can keep that speed limit at least 65. Hopefully these guys are not going to give me room. All right, so now we had to do the one thing I did not want to do, which is come to a complete stop. Oh. All right, so they, wow, they took pity on me there. The AI can be interesting in this game. Overall, I think they're pretty good, but there are times where they don't like to really move over and let you on, even though they have clear road around them and clear lanes around them. So we made it through it. Nobody was harmed. No damage was taken. Let's see, what is this guy carrying? Not sure. Got a gear symbol on the side of the road. In the bottom right hand corner you can see we just got some income, 1,886 from Christian. So a little bit of income coming in there. So that means he finished up a job, which means he had an opportunity to continue leveling up. And the longer distances he can travel, as well as Scarlet, then that's the more leveling up they're going to do. So we want them to be able to travel long distances. Alright, we need a flatter area here, or even a downhill area, to gain some speed, because our speed limit is 75 right now, and we cannot even get close to that. So we need a little bit of open road to where we can gain a little speed. Because right now we're the one getting passed rather than doing the passing. See, on the left, we've got some big rigs coming up to move past us. Alright, we're getting there. 67, 68, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully we don't get a drop in speed from the speed limit, as we're finally now getting up to speed. Oh boy, we are traveling now. Okay, that's perhaps a little bit faster than I wanted to go. Alright, we're back in business. Now you can see we're coming up on, what is that, Flagstaff. So at least one question mark over there. But we're on a mission right now. We need to finish up this delivery and earn all of that money that we're going to get from this particular one. Alright, good news is the force feedback is behaving much better. So at some point I might test out some of the different settings and see if I can pinpoint which one or maybe two of the force feedback settings were giving me my issue, because I really would like some fairly strong force feedback in the game. That's just personal preference of mine. But I certainly could not deal with what we had going on earlier. That was horrible. And for your sake, I hope you guys couldn't hear that either at all, or if it was hopefully minimal. Based on my setup here, the The microphone is fairly close to where the wheel is, so not sure how much that bled through. Guess I'll find out when I'm working with the captured video a little bit later on. But yeah, we're certainly in much better shape right now, and hopefully it stays that way. All right, just a bit over 100 miles remaining to go, and our scenery really hasn't changed a whole lot. We're looking at a lot of tumbleweeds, and we've passed a few cacti on the sides of the road, some bushes, but that's about it. Oh, looks like we've got a detour on the side. Got a wreck or something. Thankfully, that is not going to hold us up. Alright, wow. Okay, we need to get going, guys. Somebody get going. Left-hand lane, right-hand lane, whichever one, somebody needs to get going. Now, I'm guessing it's not going to be that big rig that is ahead of us in the left-hand lane. So as we approach actually being able to see the sun, we approach some daytime again at about 6:30 a.m. We'll go ahead and leave our lights on, at least for the foreseeable future. Oh goodness, come on guys. We were going so good. Let's see, are we going to be able to make this pass before we catch up to the big rig ahead? That is the question. Okay, big brake check there. That certainly isn't going to help us. The SUV has no problem with the acceleration, but us, on the other hand, not so much. But lots of empty areas around here. It's just not a whole lot to see, which is, on one hand, good for the creators of the game because it helps out your graphics when you don't have as many things to draw on screen. Doesn't require as much processing power. But on the other hand, there's just not much to see. A few water tanks, it looks like, over there on the side. Alright, yep, we're sort of stuck right now. We can't get back up to speed, back up to our 75. Oh, y'all quit slowing down so much. Really? Of course, the biggest issue seems to be that we're getting tractor trailers in both the left and right side lanes, which is certainly not helping anything out. I'm having to use way too much brake. That is just killing our speed. Ooh, watch out. Hit the wrong button there. You can see we were trying to zoom in. I was trying to hit the turn signal. But instead, we got this, which is a nice level of zoom if you just really need to see something that's going on right in front of you on the road. But other than that, not all that useful. Alright, so we're trying to get back up to speed after all that momentum we lost. Hopefully that speed limit will hang in there with us at 75. We've only got about 20 miles left, so we're going to be exiting right about now. I almost missed it. Holbrook. Alright, so we're going to be headed over to the left, and you can just barely see our destination on the left-hand side of the GPS. Alright, let's go ahead and stop as we get up here. And, okay, looking to the right is pretty good. Looking to the left is all but useless. So I'm going to have to work on that some at some point. Alright, so yeah, we are very close to our destination now. It shows on screen 16 miles, but that is a very short 16 miles. Alright, there is a turn in somewhere up here. There it is. Alright, there we go. Look at that. We got some farmland over here to the left. Got a tractor out there. We're delivering another one for you. This is some of what I'm looking forward to in the new DLC. A lot more of the off the beaten path type of deliveries to the farm areas. So very much looking forward to that. Lots of farmland around here. Quite a nice sized farm they got going. Looking forward to getting one of those larger farms started for myself in Farming Sim. So we are about to make somebody very happy with our delivery. And we're about to make our truck very dusty. Alright, now we pull up to the road. Let's see. Do we... Okay, we can't see anything that way. That's certainly not going to help us. Alright, we're just going to have to make a run for it and hope we don't get run over. Hope that the AI can cut us a break and actually come to a stop. Bushnell Farms. Okay, it must be where our delivery is. Very nice. I like it. There we go. Let's press enter. And if we go with the play it safe route... Oh, wow. We're just going to pull basically straight ahead. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot here for us to do, and I like it that way. At least for now. There we go. Press T to take care of the delivery and finish that up. So 633 miles driven in real time. That would have been 12.5 hours. Wow. But the good news for us is, you see, we got a ton of XP out of that. 1,471 XP. We got another level. We are now up to level 5, which is an enthusiast. And we are very close to level 6. A grand total of just under $24,000 for that particular delivery. So now we're going to continue on, and let's see, what do we want to do? Let's go ahead with fragile cargo. That'll give us one. Let's see, we could also do some of these others. Okay, let's do the fragile first. That'll give us at least one in each of these areas to unlock, and then we'll proceed on from there. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay series of American Truck Simulator.